Okay, YouTube, it's time for scandal. So yesterday it started off with the U.S. attorney, David. His name is David. Remember I told you I was gonna have all the names this time, which is the guy that keeps going back and forth with Olivia and the guy that slept with her other friend. Well, he's telling Hollis, which is the Texas man, that he believes that Citron, the explosion, was linked to them trying to rig the presidential vote and all that, and there's room for only one deal, and if it's not with him, then it can be with somebody else, with his other co-conspirators. So then Hollis then he sends Hollis sends Olivia demanding she handle David before he takes everyone down. So while at his office, Quin is well they back at the office. Quin is shooting, rolling her eyes at Hollis because she's like, you look familiar, because Hollis actually came to the office to see Olivia, and Quin was looking at him like, you look familiar and all of that stuff, and he was like, hey, how you doing? And she knows that he's the one that's behind killing her boyfriend back about 2 years ago, back when she was Lindsay Doyer, but now of course she's Quin. So they flash back to 2 years ago when Quin and her boyfriend was close, and how they, was had talking to each other and exciting news and all that stuff. They were back in Ohio when this happened. So so he's there swapping out a voting machine in order to he's there swapping out the voting machines in order to rig the election so that president could win, and he's paid $1 million for the job, but he don't feel like it's enough, so he demands that Hollis give him more money, and he's like, you just don't get it and all that, and he gets mad. He knocks the coffee over on the laptop, and that messed up everything. So Quinn tell him she just gonna take it to the shop and get it fixed. It's gonna be alright, calm down. So Becky is hired by Hollis, which everybody think, to take care of, Jesse, because he's like, the Hollis want to make sure that, the little Jesse guy don't blow their cover or whatever. So she packs this bomb and put it in and addresses it to the office where Jesse worked. But she lists the sender as Lindsay Dyer, which is Quin or whatever, and she sends it to the Citron, warehouse or whatever where they work. So she also sent out a text message to Quin to make it seem as if Jesse was having an affair with her. So Quin went all off, and she was like, oh, you gonna pay for this, and here I am trying to get your computer fixed and get you back in business, and you cheating on me, because the text says something like, you were good last night, you knocked my back out and broke my headboard and all this old stuff. So she was mad, and she left him that message, which left a death threat, and so that's how they figured that's who did it. So later, it shows, what's his name? Jesse getting the package, and he opened it, and it just immediately blew up the office while Becky was sitting outside in front of the building reading a book. So Becky had completed her first part of the mission, but the second part was to tell the cops where she was. But while she was on the phone telling the cops, did she see the girl that was responsible for the bombing? She see Huck taking Quin, putting her in his car, because Olivia had Huck to go get her. So back in the present day, Mellie let Cyrus know that the president wanted a divorce, that he was and he's the chief of staff, so he all out of whack. So Fitz, on the other hand, he claimed it. He said he calm, he all right, he know that's what he want to do, and that's he better make it happen. So Fitz tell Olivia, who breaks the news about Edison proposing to her, and all that's going on, she really not even feeling what he's saying. He's like, promise me you gonna wait for me, and she's like, she's feeling guilty because of her role in rigging the election, and she told Cyrus that you said everything was gonna be fine. I knew I shouldn't have got involved in this in the first place. If I would have said no, this wouldn't have even gone on. We could have just believed that he would have won without nobody having to go through all this. And he was like, are you listening to yourself? You need to get it together. You about to mess this up for everybody. Because he was like, you just can't deal with Hollis right now because you're not thinking straight. And she's like, I know what I'm doing, and I know what I'm doing this. And she just, went back to her house, and she was just crying and crying and crying. Harrison, Quin, and Abby and Huck are back at the office. And so they like, well, why don't we all put together what we all know and how we all got here, and maybe that'll help us solve what's going on with Olivia, because she's in this funk. Because Edison had went to Olivia, and she had just gotten off the phone with the president, and he was like, whatever's wrong, I'll fix it. I don't care. Just promise me you're away from me. Don't marry him. I'm getting a divorce. I told her I wanted a divorce and all that. So she just, she's like, I'm sorry. I mean, everything is just going wrong. And she just hung up on him. So Edison walked in the room, and he's like, Olivia, what is wrong with you? Are you sick? You need me to take you to the doctor? Is everything okay? And he came to touch her. She was like, don't touch me. And she turned her back on him or whatever. And he left out the room. So he went to her office, Olivia Pope's office, and he was telling the guys that she's just not herself. Something's wrong. He don't know what's wrong with her, and all of that. So they say our case will be Olivia Pope. This is the person we need to work on, see what's going on, and get her out of this mess. So, they come to how, Abby had found some information from David on the computer about the rigging of some voting machines, and Quin was saying how Huck came and got her and stuck something in her neck, and it was on Hollis's thing, and her boyfriend had uncovered some stuff about the machines, and Huck, everybody agreed to spill what they knew with no judgment and none of that. And Huck didn't raise his hand. And they was like, Huck, if you need to blink, wave your hand, snap your fingers, cough or something. So how he was communicating was he'll cough, or he'll say, he'll just make a noise. So they caught the idea that they got the voting machines to rig the presidential thing. So Huck left. He hurried up and left out the room. He went to Olivia's house. He got in the bed with her. He told her that Cyrus is hiring one of the he's sending Charlie, which is the other trained killer. He's sending Charlie to kill Hollis to kill Hollis. And so that way that'll keep Hollis, from letting things go with everybody. So Olivia takes it upon herself to go and turn Hollis in, saying that the cell phone is in his office. So the police coming now. She goes to David and tell David, I know what a cell phone is that he used to make the phone call to set up to get the president killed. So they went in Hollis' office, showed him the paper. He was arrested. And David was like, okay, yeah, you did all of this, and I accept your little secret phone, but this is not nearly enough evidence to, get it going. So Olivia goes and she talks to Verna, which is the she's like the Supreme Court judge lady that has the cancer, her hair going out. So yeah, that's the name. So she was like, and it's gonna mess all of us up and all that. And she was like, well, I got this. So this has killed me. And I knew when I was on that airplane, on that jet, presidential plane or whatever, and I made this deal that I had already signed my death sentence. So you need to try to protect yourself. And so Cyrus tries to influence David into releasing Hollis so he can stick Charlie on him. But Hollis is like, what are you talking about? And they had some other judge lady in there, or lawyer lady. And he was like, all you have is a cell phone. Are you sure that's the only number that's on there? Because when you go to court, are they going to say, well, are you sure that was the only number on there with no other numbers? It could have been erased. Are you sure that was Becky's number? So you need to bring all your guns when you come into this battle. Is this something that you want? So Olivia finally come back to the office, hugged and brought her back. She springs as she tell the people, Becky, Abby, and Harrison are arguing about, like, they don't know nothing about Olivia. They need to know, nobody ever asked. And so she walked in and she's like, I'll tell y'all whatever y'all want to know, no secrets. I'm gonna tell you everything. Any question will be answered. Just let me know what y'all want to know. And so Quin was like, yeah, we want to know, da da da. And so they cut her off. And Abby was like, I don't want to know anything. Harrison was like, I don't want to know anything, because whatever you know, you will be subpoenaed and they will ask you those questions in court. And I don't want to be a part of it. So Quin was like, he said, if you want to do it, Harrison told Quin, if you want to do it, you be all out there by yourself. But I'm not in it. Abby said, no, I'm not in it either. I'm on Harrison's side. So they was like, okay, so now we need to find out how we got the telephone. We got proof that that was her number. Now we need to figure out how she got the money and all of that stuff. So they knew that it was a offshore account or some kind of bank account that linked them there. So Quin remembered, spilling the coffee on Jesse's computer, and so she went back to where the computer was 2 years ago. They still had the computer, and she got the computer back that they spilled the coffee on, because he never got it, because the explosion happened before they can get to the computer. And the computer, they took Quin and brought her to DC. So they find the payment, because Huck is just awesome with computers. So they find the payment that Jesse made. They found the payment made to Jesse, but nothing for Becky. So Huck like, okay, I got one more thing I can do. So he goes and he visits Becky in prison, and he's telling her he need her bank account because he want to hire her a lawyer. And she's like, why do I trust you? Why should I trust you? I mean, I killed your family. I think you're just trying to get more information on me. And he's like, no, because I can be myself around you. I care about you, and I just want you to have the best lawyer while you here to defend you and all that stuff. He playing her hard. And she was like, well, why should I believe you, or why should I trust you? And he said, because I'm giving you my real name. And she took a piece of paper and she saw his real name, and then she wrote the account number on the back. So they so Mellie had went to the where'd she go? She went to the hospital to see. She went to the doctor's office to make sure everything was okay with her baby. She was doing her checkup visit, and the doctor was like, I'm sure the president is just so happy, and he's doing great, and I know he was here for the last two, and he held your hand, and da da da, and this is gonna be so great for him. And she's like, yes, he's just doing great. And she just, you know, just pepping it up when she know in the back of her mind this man still want a divorce. And she's like, I do everything for him. So she went back and she talked to Cyrus, and she was like, I do everything for him. I was the one that influenced him to do this, and I was his backbone, and I did this and I did that, and this other woman can come in and just take everything and just be me in a few years. I don't think so. This is not gonna happen. She said, I have one more card I can play too. So she goes to the OBGYN and tell them that her due date might be too late to say the marriage. So she have the lady like induce her labor or whatever. So Cyrus brings in like all this paperwork about how his marriage is helping his popularity in the votes in the presidential thing, and if he get a divorce, this is what it could do to him. He was like, well, I don't care about none of that. I still want the divorce. So as they talking about that, one of the people, the assistants or secretary, whatever, come in the door, and she was like, it's Mellie. It's an emergency. She's in the hospital. She's about to have the baby, and it's really serious, because he was about to get ready to go see Olivia. He was telling them, get the crew together. I'm about to go see Olivia. She's hurting. Something's going on with her, and I want to talk to her about it. He's like, you can't do that in broad daylight. What is wrong with you? That's Cyrus trying to talk to him, and then that's when the lady called me in and telling he need to get to the hospital. Mellie in now. She about to go into labor. So Fitz rush out to the hospital, and their thing is, they hold hands while she's pushing, and she said, you got count of three and we push. This is how we do it. This is how we did it with our first two kids. Time to push. And so she pushed, and they had this little moment. At first she reached out for his hand, and he hesitated to grab it, but then he thought about it. That's my wife. She in pain. She having my baby, and they did that. So Huck finally get the go back to Huck and Olivia and them. They get the account number. They typing it in the computer, And then there's a payment to Citron Explosion from Hollis. But there's also a deposit of $5 million that was logged the day after the president was shot. But the payment is from somebody else, child. It is not from Hollis. So Olivia calls David to let him know that he had the wrong man in custody. Mind you, Olivia and Cyrus was talking, walking down the street before this little thing happened. After she told him she had turned Hollis in and all that. I'm all over the place, y'all. And so he was like, she was like, why did you do that? What is wrong with you? We are the people. We are protecting the people, and you just done messed it up. You know what's gonna happen if all this comes forth? And she was like, the way you going about it is all wrong. The way I'm going about it is right. And what happened? Yeah. So Cyrus called his little guy, and he's like, well, I'm standing out. He's like, he's gonna be released shortly. I'm in the process of getting him released. So when you see him walk out that door, you handle it, right? So okay, so Olivia calls David to let him know that the man he have in custody is not the assassin. So David's like, well, I knew that, because how can somebody be assassin when you ask them questions about it and they know nothing? I'm a good lawyer. I know this. I let him go an hour ago. Okay. She already knew that Cyrus was having the guy killed, Hollis killed. So here she goes. She done rush Huck rushing out to go try to stop him from killing Hollis, because they done figured out that somebody else was the person that paid to get the president shot. So Hollis gets on the getting ready to get on the elevator to go out the building, and the man that Charlie's that's coming on the elevator, he said, "Oh, can you hold the elevator?" So he went on and got on with him. So he just, happens to be heading. He say, where you going? He say, I'm going on the same floor as you. And then they go out. Now, why do they do that? ABC know y'all wrong for that. Y'all are so wrong for that. But it shows next week how Huck is going to be on the elevator with Hollis and Charlie. Now, I don't know what's going to come of that. And then I think somebody's supposed to get shot or die or something. I don't know, y'all. So it's just, I think Olivia is gonna accept Ellis's proposal and all that good stuff, but it was good. And I hate when ABC it go kind of slow in the beginning and they do backtrack, and then at 8:50, that's my time when it come. I mean 9:50 when it come on in my time. At 9:50, they decide to put all the good stuff all together at one time. So it wasn't Hollis that paid Becky to shoot the president. So we kind of figure out who it was, cause once he got the account, they saw that it was a deposit for $5 million that was logged in, but the payment is from somebody else. It wasn't Hollis, because they had Becky's bank account. So now they trying to figure out who it could have been. I'm thinking it was the vice president lady. So we're gonna see if it was the vice president lady. Her name is Sally. So we're gonna see if it was Sally on next week. So I'm glad they not making us wait no 2 or 3 weeks to watch that. So anyway, y'all, that was Scandal. That's it. Again, let me know if y'all want me to do repeats. Like last Thursday was a repeat, so I didn't put it up here. I didn't feel the need to, because I figure everybody has seen it. It had come on a while back, but if you want me to do it, I'll do it. But that's it, and that's all. You guys have a great weekend, and I'll see, for those of you who watch Why No, I'll see y'all tomorrow for your spoilers. Okay? So have a good weekend. See y'all next Friday or next Thursday for your Scandal review. Bye.